Greetings, dear friends. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. We had our first snowfall here. It's a bit warmer today though, and it's all melting. Usually that's the way it is for us. If we get a snowfall and then it melts away. So here we are, starting a new week. It's actually the end of October. It's amazing to think how little we've got left to go through in 2018. But as I've been doing every week with you, I like to just check in and start our week off together, and also to focus on what can we look at to let go of. And when I talk about letting go of, I'm thinking of things that are maybe holding you back, making you play small, not playing and with all of the gifts, the meaning, the purpose that you actually are capable of. Because each one of us has something very specific that it's our responsibility. It's our right and our responsibility to bring it fully in for the whole of all of us. And so sometimes we can get that buried in layers of patterns or addictions or thoughts or things of that nature. So that's why I developed this system called the letting go process. And so the guidance of this is to letting go can sometimes just be a case of noticing something, becoming aware of it, taking a deep breath, and then choosing something different. But then sometimes the things that we need are called upon to let go of go a wee bit deeper. So it could be like a propensity to over worry or to overcommit to doing certain things. And so then there's other tools, and that's what I work with my clients on is developing other tools. So it could be developing a meditation practice or a journaling practice, or using tools like emotion freedom technique, EFT tapping, where you tap on different acupressure points to release negativities or limitations on a cellular level. So all that being said, just take a nice deep breath with me. Breathing deep breath. That's going to bring our awareness right into this present moment. It doesn't matter if you're watching this live with me, and if you are, say hi. Or if you're watching later, the energy of what we're creating here is still whenever you watch this or come into this space with me. So as we're just focusing on what can we look at letting go of this week in order to more fully connect with our meaning, connect with our purpose, connect with who we truly are at a core level, at a soul level. And so let's see what this week's going to be focusing on. And it's the approval of others. So this is a good one to focus on. Where do you do things because you should, or because society says, or because there's an agreement that's saying people like you do it this way? Have a look at that. How does that show up? Sometimes we can do something or say yes to something, but really when we're honest with ourselves, it can be a conversation going on inside that's saying we better do it because then therefore people won't like you, or you won't earn money, or you won't be accepted, or you'll be all alone, or people will ignore you. Those kind of conversations. But so see how that works for you. When we pull these cards together, just kind of riff on it a little bit to see, where do I seek the approval of others? Where do I bend my will or give up my power or make choices that aren't really truly mine in order to get the approval of others? And how does that look like? What does that show up like? And what I'm going to do also is I have a book that goes with this system, and I like to read out what I'd written about what that means, just to help you get a deeper sense of it, see how it shows up in other ways. So for this one, I start with a quote from Byron Katie. And she says, the unspoken belief is that unless people approve of you, you're worthless. So this is very much based on self-worth, right? One of the biggest obstacles to people improving their self-esteem is their constant need for approval by others. Hey, Andrea, nice to see you here. The approval you really need to find is from yourself, and this can only begin once you stop searching for the approval in others and take time to heal yourself. It's all about you, right? When you come to realize that you don't need anyone else's approval, it's so incredible. There's suddenly peace inside of you which will fill you up with joy. It's like you've suddenly woken up from a nightmare and now you're free to be completely you, just you. your whole life will be completely different. You might find that for the first time in your life, you understand what it truly means to feel peaceful, content, and happy. It's time to let go of the need for approval of others. Truth be told, it really doesn't matter what other people think. If you're happy with the decisions you've made, that's no one else's concern. Think of how much you could achieve if you stopped letting other people's opinion impact the way you live your life. So sit with that. See how you can just allow yourself to come truly back to what you want at a heart level. Because the other thing that I work a lot with in myself and with other people is that we need to work on firing our head. I say fire your mind. But what I mean is the mind is great for doing things like, well, I have to set the alarm to get up at such and such a time, or I need to make an appointment for whatever it is I need to do. Those are great mundane things that the mind really needs to do. Hey, Jeanette, nice to see you here. So that's what the mind's great for. But where the true authority is at your heart. So you notice that if you've been watching my videos, I do that a lot. What does your heart say? Just put your hand over your heart. Come into what does your heart want? And that's really going to help you get out of that idea of wanting the approval from other people, because who cares what they think? What you really need to do is get the approval of your heart. What's your heart directing you? And it's always speaking. But the truth is it doesn't speak as incessantly or chattering. That's what happens with the mind, with the remember I said last week, I talked about the war of the ego, which is the worry, the anticipation, and the regret. That's what our ego is doing. Thanks, Jeanette. I'm so happy you're here. So it's that constant worry, anticipating, and regret. Whereas, and I'm reading a really awesome book and getting into the teachings of Matt Kahn. It's him that talked about that worry, anticipate, regret. But what he then encourages us to is to get into the raw. So he's saying, go from this ego-based war to the soul-based raw. And raw stands for respect, acknowledge, and welcome. So when you can take a deep breath, this is an inner journey, right? You can respect, acknowledge, and welcome everything that comes up. So that's not to say bad things don't come up. You won't have, you're still going to have frustration or hopelessness or sadness. They are all going to come up. But if you go into that, so as opposed to doing the worry, anticipate, and regret kind type of things, that, oh, good for you. Oh, I'm jealous. I'll have to come and do it with you. Jeanette says that she's going to do a class with Mark Kahn. I love his body of work. It's very, very inspirational and makes an awful lot of sense. I'm sure you'll agree. So I look forward to hearing how that goes for you, Jeanette. Anyways, so I'm here. I'm sort of going off onto this. Let's work on, and this is how we could embody the letting go process too, is that we're shifting through the ego-based war to come into the soul-based raw, which is respect, acknowledge, and welcome. Anyways, what I'm doing right now, I'm shuffling the angel cards, Doreen Virtue's angel cards, because I like to just sort of sit with the area that we're going to focus on letting go of this week. And then we draw 3 angel cards. And these are going to give us supportive messages to help us acknowledge and witness and see what it is. So retreat. So this is perfect for dealing with that, letting go of wanting the approval from other people, is to come back into yourself, come back into your heart, listen to your own inner guidance, get in tune with what's your soul calling. Because remember I said at the beginning here today was that we all have a unique piece that it is our imperative to bring it in. So sometimes we have to go quiet and go alone and be with ourselves to say, what's the direction? What's the next step? What's the right thing? And music. I like to, if I'm on my own or I need to get in touch with something, there's certain pieces of music that's very, very helpful to just help you hear your own guidance. And then that's going to help you line up with your own sense of truth and integrity. Because this is really, that to me is what the basis of this work that I'm doing, is this letting go process, is to come to your truth, not my truth, not anybody else's truth, your truth. And that allows you to be in truth and integrity with whatever the peace is, the divine peace that you carry for this whole game that we're all playing together. I hope that helps you. I look forward to hearing your stories about how letting go of sorry, I didn't see it. I wonder if I should attend. Yes, thank you. I love this deck too. It's very supportive. And like I said, I find it really useful with the letting go cards. So remember, this week you're going to focus on letting go of the need for approval from others. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye.